So, welcome everyone, and thank you. Thank you for listening. I want to speak to a specific person today. Maybe it's you. Maybe it is someone you're only realizing you were. I want to speak to the eldest daughter, not just the firstborn, though you might be that too. I'm talking about the one who became the responsible one. The one who noticed when things were falling apart and quietly started holding them together. The one who learned very young that someone had to be the adult in the room and decided it might as well be her. If something in you just took a breath or felt a tightness in your chest, then this might be for you. The eldest daughter carries a particular kind of weight. It is not always visible. In fact, part of what makes it so heavy is how invisible it is. The emotional labor, the anticipating of needs before anyone voices them, the scanning the room to see who is okay and who is not, the managing of other people's feelings so that everything stays manageable. You learn this young, maybe too young to even remember learning it. And here is the thing that no one ever said to you. That was not your job. You were just a child. That was not your job. You were just a child. Let us name now some of what you might have carried. You might have been the one who looked after your younger siblings, not occasionally like a favor, but as a fundamental part of how the family worked. The backup parent. The one who knew where the school shoes were, what time the bus came, and whether someone had eaten or not. You might have been the one your mother confided in. The one who heard things a child should not have to hold about money, about your father, maybe about her own pain. You became her support before you had finished needing hers. You might have been the peacekeeper, the one who resolved conflict, who sensed tension before it exploded and worked quietly to diffuse it. The one who learned that your needs were less important than keeping the peace. Or maybe it was a little bit more subtle than that. Maybe you were just always aware of the mood in the house, of who needed what, of the gap between what was happening and what everyone was pretending was happening. You held awareness and it was exhausting. No one ever asked how you were doing. Sounds familiar? Now there is a word for this: parentification. It is when a child takes on responsibilities, emotional or practical, that belongs to the adults. It happens for all kinds of reasons. Parents who are overwhelmed, unwell, absent, or simply unaware. Family systems under stress. Cultural expectations. The eldest daughter often catches this weight because of some combination of birth, gender, and the particular sensitivity that made her notice what needed doing. And here is what is important to understand. It is not because something was wrong with you. Your sensitivity, your capacity to hold things, and your awareness, those are gifts. But they got recruited too early for the purposes that were not yours. You did not fail by becoming responsible. You adapted. You survived. You probably held your family together in ways that no one fully recognizes. But it cost you. So what does it cost to grow up too fast? It costs you your childhood, not always dramatically, not always in ways that look like trauma from the outside, but in the quiet theft of ease, of play without purpose, of being allowed to need things without immediately calculating whether your needs would be too much for everyone else. It cost you the right to be imperfect. Eldest daughters often become perfectionists, not because they love being perfect, but because they learned that their mistakes had consequences for everyone. So they stopped making them, or at least they stopped letting anyone see them. It may have cost you your boundaries when you have been the one everyone relies on since age 8. Saying no feels like abandonment, like you are letting the whole system collapse. So you keep saying yes, even when you are exhausted, even when you have nothing left, even when every cell of your body is screaming for rest. Does any of this land with you? It costs you relationships because you learn to be the giver, the holder, and the one who manages. And that is hard to turn off. You might find yourself in friendships where you were always the listener, never the one who gets to fall apart. In romantic relationships where you mother your partner without meaning to, then resent them for letting you. It also costs you your rest, deep rest, because your nervous system may have learnt that vigilance is survival. Somewhere in your body, there is a part that is still scanning, still managing, still ready to spring into action if anyone needs anything. Even when you're alone, even when you're supposedly relaxing, and even when everyone is fine. Now I want to talk about what happens in your body. Because this is not just psychological, it is also physical, it is also somatic. The weight you carried as a child did not just affect your mind, it may have shaped your nervous system. When you grow up in a state of chronic responsibility, always scanning, always managing, always ready to respond, your nervous system adapts to that. It learns that the world requires vigilance and that rest is dangerous. That letting your guard down might mean everything will fall apart. This is possibly why you might be exhausted but unable to truly rest. Why relaxation feels uncomfortable or even threatening. Why you might finally get a day to yourself and spend it cleaning, organizing, and doing because stillness feels wrong. It is not a character flaw. It is not just who you are. It is the nervous system doing what it learned to do to survive. Now, here is what I want you to know, that this pattern can change. The nervous system isn't plastic. It can learn new things. It can learn that rest is safe, that you do not have to hold everything, and that the world will not collapse if you stop managing it for 5 minutes. But it learns this through experience, not through understanding. You cannot think your way out of a nervous system pattern. You have to feel your way out of it. And this is what we are going to do in a moment. Now, before we go into this practice, I want to name something. Eldest daughter syndrome does not appear from nowhere. It is often, not always, but it is often passed through the mother line. Your mother may have been an eldest daughter herself, or she may have had her own weight to carry, her own parentification, and her own unmet needs, her own overwhelm that spilled onto you because she had no other container for it. Now, this is not about blame. Your mother was probably doing the best she could with what she had, and her mother before her, and hers before that. But patterns pass through generations. The expectation that women carry, the normalization of female sacrifice, the invisibility of emotional labor. These are not just personal experiences, they are ancestral. Somewhere in your mother line, there may be generations of women who held too much, too young, who never got to be children, who gave until there was nothing left to give. You carry their pattern, and if you choose, you can also be the one who heals it. Not by fixing anyone, not by carrying even more, but by doing something radical, by putting it down. If any of this is resonating with you, I want to invite you into a practice now. Now, if you cannot relax for the next few minutes, or you need to stay alert where you are, you can save this part for later. But if you can, find yourself somewhere comfortable, sitting, lying down, whatever feels right for you. And let your eyes close if that feels okay. Or soften your gaze downwards, or keep them open. Whatever feels right for you today. Now just begin by feeling your physical body. Not analyzing it, just feeling. Feel the weight of you, held by whatever surface is beneath you. Maybe the places where your physical body makes contact, the back, your feet, whatever you're sitting on. And now notice your breath. You do not need to change it. Just notice it moving. In and out. The body doing what it does without you having to manage it. Now I'm going to ask you to do something you might find uncomfortable. I want you to stop scanning. Just for these few minutes, you do not need to listen for anyone else. You do not need to track the mood in the house, and you do not need to be ready to respond. There is nothing right now that needs your vigilance. And if that feels strange, if part of you wants to stay alert, that is okay too. Just notice that part. You can say to it gently, I know you have been working hard. You can rest for a moment. I will let you know if anything needs attention. I know you've been working hard. You can rest for a moment. I will let you know if anything needs attention. Now bring your attention to your shoulders. Feel them from the inside. Notice if they are lifted, braced, or carrying. They may have been carrying for a long time. And just imagine that you can set something down. You do not have to know what it is. You do not have to name it or understand it. Just imagine there is a weight on your shoulders, the weight of responsibility, of vigilance, of being the one who holds it all together, and you can set it down. Right here, right now, just for these few minutes. And just notice what happens in your body when you imagine that. Does something soften? Does something resist? Both are okay. Just notice. Now I want you to bring to mind yourself as a child. You do not need a specific memory, just a sense of them. The eldest daughter, the one who noticed too much, felt too much, carried too much. See her there, doing what she did, managing, watching, and holding things together. And I want you to say something to her or him silently. Or if you're alone and if you're comfortable, you can even say it out loud. I see what you carried. I see how hard you worked. I see what it cost you. You can put it down now. You can put it down now. You can put it down now. You do not have to hold it anymore. You did enough. You were always enough. And you can rest now. You did enough. You were always enough. And you can rest now. Just notice what is happening in your body. There might be an emotion. There might be relief. There might be resistance. Or there might be nothing at all. Whatever is here is okay. Now place a hand somewhere on your body. Your chest, your belly, your shoulder, or somewhere else that feels right. And let this hand be the hand that you needed. The comfort you gave everyone else but rarely received yourself. Now, before we finish, I want you to hear something. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to need things. You are allowed to let other people figure it out. You are allowed to put yourself first. Not as a radical act, but as the basic care that you always deserved. The family system will not collapse if you stop holding it, and if it wobbles, that is not your fault. It was never supposed to be on your shoulders. And whenever you're ready now, take a deeper breath. Feel your feet on the floor or the surface beneath you, and let your awareness come back to you. At your own pace, if your eyes were closed, you can gently open them now, and welcome back. I want to leave you with this. The weight you carried as the eldest daughter was real. It shaped you in ways you're probably still discovering now. And some of what it gave you, the competence, the awareness, and the ability to hold space, those are gifts. But the cost was real too. And you're allowed to grieve that, to be angry about it, and to wish it had been different. Healing does not mean pretending it did not happen. It means acknowledging what was and choosing what comes next. You can keep the gifts without keeping the burden. You can love your family without carrying them. You can be responsible because that part of who you are, without being responsible for everything and everyone all the time. If any of this landed for you today, I am glad. And if you want to go deeper with your mother line, with the patterns you inherited, with teaching your nervous system that rest is safe, that work is possible too. Because when you heal this, you do not just heal yourself, you break the chain. You become the generation where the pattern stops passing down. And that is powerful, and that matters. Thank you for being here today. You carried enough for one lifetime, and you can rest now. Thank you very much for joining me today, and namaste.